When it comes to the government's big infrastructure push, no one among the country's biggest developers wants to be left behind. And so it goes for Megaworld, which is ramping up projects in almost every facet of the portfolio. Here to lay out the path forward is Jericho Go, Senior Vice President for Business Development and Leasing. Jericho, welcome to the show. Good to have you with us.
Thank you.
Let's kick off with the big news of the day, which is that you're expanding the San Antonio residence development, adding a new tower, or about 478 units to the project. That's right. You're calling it the East Tower, and that will make it one of Megaworld's biggest in Makati. What's the dream here?
Well, obviously, we've seen a lot of opportunities for startup families and millennials. So we wanted to take advantage of that market, considering that we are practically fully sold already on the first tower. So we wanted to launch a next one so that we will be able to capture that market. So we think that there's a lot of opportunities and prospects there. So we want to make sure that we're there at the thick of the fight.
Do you mean to say that you're seeing a new wave of demand, given that you hadn't forecast the second tower back when you had initially laid out plans for the first one?
Well, definitely we already had plans, and we were just pleasantly surprised that on the sales part that it's done much better than what we've expected. So obviously launching it sooner also was a logical decision to make for that particular location.
And are you on track to complete this project by 2020?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. So we want to make sure that we are able to meet, if not even exceed, expectations of our customers. And the quality, obviously, is something that we're very particular with, so that we can continue to have repeat buyers for our projects.
When roughly in 2020 are we talking?
Again...
Or you hadn't put it down to a hard target yet?
No hard target at this time, yeah.
All right, so 60 billion pesos in CapEx
That's
is
right.
what you have to work with this year. About 80% of that, or roughly the lion's share, will be spent on developing townships. What's the strategy there?
Well, the 80% actually is more for the development projects, and the 20% would be on the investment properties and land banking. So again, we believe that we continue to do very well in terms of our residential sales. But at this point, we obviously want to take advantage also of office developments, of retail projects, and of hotels. Because obviously we are doing quite well, and we are the largest BPO office landlord and developer, and even traditional offices. We are catering to them, and we have been very successful in leasing out offices.
Only 20% for land banking and investment purposes. Is that enough, do you think?
Yeah,
for future-proofing purposes?
Well, obviously, because residential projects, they're very numerous. There's a lot of them going on all over the Philippines. So it will really take a lion's share. But again, because we are also doing quite well in terms of internally generated funds on the investment properties, then you just want to be able to make sure to reinvest in more office projects and retail projects. So I think for the 20% should be good. Again, this is year on year. So we definitely will be able to fuel our growth based on that allocation.
It seems that the big goal is to move towards becoming more of a major landlord, so to speak, and evolving from being merely a real estate developer. In fact, the target is 20 billion pesos from the leasing arm, just the leasing arm, by 2020. Here we're taking a look at how you've been growing the leasing pie. 2012 you were just at 5 billion, and that 2020 figure is just a target at this stage. What's with the number 20, by the way? It's all 20.
Yeah, that's right.
you just put a pin on it and say 20 is a good number.
Obviously, these are fundamentally sound numbers, because what probably was not shown here is that in 2016, we earmarked 10 billion, and obviously we're on track to hitting that once we come out with our full report. And again, using the pipeline of projects on office and retail side, we already earmarked that by 2020, a combination of office and retail will already generate 2.5 million square meters of space. And of that, about 1.5 million will be in office and 1 million in retail. So obviously, this is a serious push for us to increase our recurring income base, because that obviously creates a lot of stability when you have recurring income. And we continue to remain optimistic. Our current tenants for both office and retail have signified and have committed to take up of space even as early as 2015 for projects that will be completed in this year and next.
Are these existing clients or new names?
These are, a lot of them are existing clients. They have forecasted growth over the next 5 years. And again, being the largest office developer, we have about 130 tenants right now in our portfolio, and all of them have been good enough or kind enough to share with us their expansion plans. So obviously that gives us a better view into the future. Yeah.
Here's the thing, though, Jericho. You know, as you said, you are the biggest client for you guys are the BPO industries, and of course, there's been you know, murmurings about how the protectionist policies in the U.S. could eventually eat into growth of the IT BPM sector. Your client base is about 70% IT BPO related companies, if I believe.
That's right.
And then most of the analysts there that we've spoken to are marking down the stock price precisely because of this. Is that a fair assessment? Are those justified concerns?
Those are, again, it's very difficult to understand why that is, considering that despite what has been said by the President of the United States, President Trump, you have to understand that there is no conflict or contradiction here. As a matter of fact, I think we can have a complementary role with the United States. I mean, jobs that they don't want to have. Before, when we entertained the very first call center client in the Philippines, they said it's difficult operating out of the US because we are only able to hire high school graduates and they only stay up an average of 6 months. In the Philippines, these are college graduates and they stay 2 years or more. So it helps increase productivity. And then also on the healthcare side, obviously, they're already having difficulties hiring nurses and medical practitioners in their hospitals. So when you talk about medical life sciences and putting them on BPO seats, where will you get it? We have the supply. And when you talk about engineering or architectural design, we have the architects here. While they sleep in the US, we're finishing the jobs here. It increases their productivity. So this is complementary. So if
so the economics of it makes sense.
Yes.
Are you saying as well that you've not seen or heard about any you know, company that's scaling back investments precisely because of the changing political climate?
That's exactly what I'm saying. I mean, in so far as Megaworld is concerned, I mean, all of the clients that we have, financial institutions and all of those things, are saying that, you know, we are going full steam ahead. Now, again, I can understand companies that from the US who have not been here in the Philippines yet might obviously be not so aggressive because they don't really know what they're missing out on. But as far as we're concerned, we are on track with regards to our targets on office, retail growth, and even the hotels.
And lastly, Jericho, how are you guys positioning yourselves to the government's big infrastructure push? I know you've expressed interest in the NAIA PPP.
That's right.
For which I expect you'll be up against fierce competition.
That's right.
How's that conversation going?
Well, again, it just makes sense for us to take part in the NAIA development project because right across is Resorts World Manila. So something that can impact our development in such a big way is something that obviously is you know, we have to be present in that. We just can't let it off just like that, you know. So, you know, anything that helps enhance our business or our core business and affiliated business, we will take part in.
I guess what I want to know is how much are you willing to shell out for it?
We'll see.
How hard are you gunning for this project?
We'll see, we'll see.
And the hotel arm, by the way, there's also plenty of development there.
Yes.
The Savoy Hotel is on track finally.
Savoy,
it was
Belmont.
slightly delayed.
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously all of these projects, you know, we want to be able to focus on increasing our presence in the hotel business. By 2020, we're targeting 12,000 keys or 12,000 rooms. And a huge portion of that would obviously be in Resorts World, around 4,000, 5,000 rooms. And there will be several more in Boracay and in other places. So we will take advantage of our huge land bank to be able to make ourselves the biggest player in the hotel industry.
All right, great big plans ahead. We wish you all the best. Thank you very much for your time. Jericho Gosin, Vice President of Business Development, Megaworld.